The Wisconsin Department of Justice agent accused of endangering safety when he fired his weapon during a traffic stop and arrest took the stand in his own defense this afternoon. Special Agent Mark Wagner is charged with one count of second-degree recklessly endangering safety by use of a dangerous weapon. Grace Olch was following that case all afternoon, and tonight at 10, she has you covered on the last testimony before closing arguments. Grace.
Brandon, Mark Wagner was on the stand for close to 2 hours this afternoon to speak in his own defense in his role in the February 2022 shooting. Wagner says he knew the February operation would be a dangerous one given the background information he was given on Quajan Wilson. Wagner says Wilson had a history of fleeing police, so when it came time, law enforcement decided on a sick maneuver, or subject in custody. According to the criminal complaint, this is when law enforcement pins a subject's vehicle between two law enforcement vehicles to get the person into custody. Wagner says as soon as the vehicle he was in made contact with Wilson's, he stepped out with his shield and started to approach Wilson. Wagner testified he was yelling for Wilson to put his hands in the air, which he could not see, and he heard Wilson's tires squealing. Wagner says he saw Wilson's right arm fidgeting near the center console and his left arm between his legs. Wagner says he then saw Wilson put his two forearms together and start to sit up, which he thought was Wilson getting ready to shoot. As we've previously reported, the Dane County Sheriff said Wilson was not armed. Wagner says seemingly all at the same time, something hit his shield, he was knocked to the ground, and he heard a gunshot.
All the operations I've been on with the shield, I've never been knocked back with that much force in my entire career, that it actually forcefully pushed me back onto the ground.
That's when Wagner says he believes he fired his gun one time. During cross-examination, the prosecution brought up to Wagner that Dane County Sheriff's investigators found there were 2 rounds missing from his gun.
Do you now know that first gunshot was your first gunshot?
I do not know.
Whose gunshot do you think it was?
I don't know. It very well could have been my gunshot. I don't know from the discovery if there was ever proven that who shot first. But it very well could have been my gunshot.
Well, who do you think?
Court adjourned for the evening before 6 o'clock. Closing arguments are expected to take place, and the jury is expected to get the case tomorrow. Court will start at 9 a.m.